Love begins at home. Love begins with oneself. Unless you love oneself, you cannot love others. Spread more love than hate. For this Sunday, the Gospel passage comes from Matthew chapter 18, 21 to 35, the parable of the unforgiving servant, which highlights the importance of forgiving others as God forgives us. Forgive yourself for not knowing what you did not know before you lived through it. Honor your path. Trust your journey with God. Learn, grow, evolve, and become, because God is forgiving. God forgives us all the time. Let's compare the Gospel passage of Matthew chapter 18, 21 to 35 to 7-step method of forgiveness. The practical application of Matthew chapter 18, 21 to 35. You can follow this in your personal prayer and meditation. In the process of healing, if you're caught up with your past hurtful experience, lack of forgiveness, this, along with the Word of God from Matthew chapter 18, 21 to 35, will help you. The first step of forgiveness is to recognize the offense. Acknowledge the pain caused by the offense and pray to God to understand the need for forgiveness. First step is to recognize the offense. Second is to understand your feelings around that experience. Reflect on your emotions and their impact. When you think about that event, what are the emotions you feel? Fear, angry, frustrated, harmful effects, helplessness. Why me? And then seek self-awareness and emotional healing. Awareness can come only through the presence of God. So this exercise can be done either after saying a prayer or before the Blessed Sacrament or looking at the cross or after the Lectio Divina. Take a passage, look into yourself. Are you an unforgiving servant or the merciful Father who forgives your debt by sacrificing his life on the cross? The third, decision to forgive or decide to forgive. Make a conscious choice to let go of resentment and anger. Understand that forgiveness is for your benefit as much as for the offender. It's both way. Forgiveness is for your own benefit as much as for the offender. Very many times, the offender is gone, but you are holding the offender in your heart, your life, your persona, in your behavior. Let decision to forgive and let go the offender take place. Make a conscious choice to let go of resentment and anger. Fourth, pray for strength. Turn to God for guidance and the strength to forgive. Seek His wisdom in dealing with the situations. Today people flock to psychologists, counselors, spend a lot of money. It's good to get their advisement, their plans, their process, but without God, nothing happens. Turning to God for guidance and strength to forgive is pivotal. Seek His wisdom in dealing with the situation. Fifth step, initiate reconciliation. Take the first step forward towards reconciliation if possible. Communicate your willingness to forgive and mend the relationship. In the Catholic Church, we have a beautiful tradition of sacrament of reconciliation. Reconcile with you and with God through the great sacrament of reconciliation. If you are other Christian denomination, reconcile with the person in prayer. Reconcile by talking to the person, asking for forgiveness, or some type of ritual where you engage to initiate that reconciliation and communicate your willingness to forgive and mend the relationship. Sixth, release the offender. Let go of the desire for revenge or justice. Release the emotional burden and allow God to take control. The emotional burden can haunt us. Let the emotional burden go and allow God to take control. Let go of the desire for revenge or justice. It is not retaliation. It is peace. The gospel passage powerfully gives us the message. The peace I give you, the world cannot give. Therefore, retaliation, revenge doesn't help. The seventh step, embrace healing and growth. Focus on personal growth and learning from the experience. Understand that forgiveness is a process that takes time. We need time for healing. We need time for growth. But the past experiences moves to the future possibilities in God. This page can help you more to go deeper in your spiritual life. Emotions, reasons, motivations, resentment, envisions, reconnect and aware. There are several steps you can go within your life in deeper level and write a journal and see how you're able to navigate this forgiveness and ongoing process. A real example of forgiveness. Eric Fitzgerald, a young pastor and preparing to be a new father to a baby boy, lost his wife along with their unborn son when the driver of the other car fell asleep at the wheel after working long shift as an EMT. Amongst the pain and grief, Eric was overcome with concern and compassion for the young man Matthew Swatzel, responsible for taking the lives of his family upon hearing of his intense guilt and shame he was experiencing. Faced with the decision to pursue the case against Matthew, push for the maximum penalty or opt for lesser charge, Eric Fitzgerald chose the lesser charge as a chance to demonstrate God's forgiveness and love. In a chance meeting arranged by fate, Eric and Matthew ran into each other at the store, and Eric immediately reached out to him in an embrace, and they began to talk. Since that moment, the two developed a deep friendship despite the tragic circumstances that allowed them to cross paths. It's an unbelievable demonstration of forgiveness and complete restoration that only God can facilitate. Forgiveness is powerful. The parable of the unforgiving servant highlights the importance of forgiving others as God forgives us. The forgiven servant's lack of mercy contrasts with God's abundant mercy towards us. Let's follow from the parable of Matthew 18:21-35 and the 7 steps of forgiveness. Let's recognize the gravity of our own forgiven sins. Release that forgiveness is not optional but essential in our faith. Understand that forgiveness benefits both the forgiver and the forgiven. Pray for the strength to forgive, relying on God's grace. Take proactive steps to reconcile and restore broken relationships when possible. Let go of the desire for vengeance and trust in God's justice. Embrace the opportunity for personal growth and spiritual maturity through forgiveness. Forgiveness is a transformative and liberative act that reflects God's love and mercy. By following the 7 steps of forgiveness and heeding the gospel message from Matthew chapter 18:21-35, we can build strong relationship and experience the true freedom that forgiveness brings.